All right, the Reds, it's Talking Reds. The Talking Reds reacting to the Euros, a Euros special. It's down on my schedule, as so I'll have to talk about the Euros then, won't I? Oh, there's me talking back to me. Shut up. There we go. That's doing it live for you. What really made me laugh just as it clicked go there, as Sam did, was someone just put in the comments, Sterling slipped on a lump of Kane's drool. I mean, it was a dodgy penalty. It was an absolutely dodgy penalty. 2 balls on the pitch at the time as well. But England got through, own goal and a rebound off a dodgy penalty. They are in the final. I'm sure you know all this. 55 years since they were last in one. So none of us here, even me, the old bastard, were around to see that one last time. I'm very Liverpool centric. I've made this clear before. So the thing for me, Sian, when I look at it now and try and think about, well, what's good about this, I'm looking forward to watching the game, don't get me wrong. I've watched them all the way through and I've enjoyed the whole tournament. I'm thinking about Hendo here and thinking it'd be boss for him to win it, and also he would be the first man to have won the Premier League, the Champions League, the World Club Cup and the Euros, because obviously England had never even won the Euros. So that'd be a boss little haul for a fella who, let's be honest, a lot of our fans have doubted over the years. And you know, there's the famous quote from Ferguson about he thought he ran a bit funny and all that kind of stuff. So that would be nice icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
It would. I watched the game. I enjoyed it. Thought the atmosphere was good. Felt like quite a classic semi-final. But yeah, just seeing Hendo at the end celebrating, I thought it's hard, it's hard not to like that. Seeing those scenes, and yet you're right, in the past 3 years he would have been English champion, world champion, European champion, and then another European champion. It sounds good, doesn't it? And I think, he'd be made up, and it's kind of why I find it quite hard to dislike this England team, just because it's not, I think when I've grown up watching England, it's just felt like the Man United and Chelsea superstars who were just used to winning things week in, week out. And I think it is quite nice to go through the team, and you've got Villa players in there, West Ham, Everton, Leeds, Arsenal, do you know what I mean? It's such a good spread that I find like that rivalry doesn't feel as intense when I watch them. But if you look at the squad, a lot of them have never really won, might not have even won a trophy, like a really elite level trophy. So to come in and win the Euros as your first one, I think is a quite a nice story, and they actually a lot of them seem like quite decent lads, and they've all gone through a bit of adversity. Same with Henderson, like they've not had it put on a plate for them, they haven't walked straight into big clubs. So I kind of like that story about it. But yeah, I thought it was a good game, and I'm looking forward to the final. And I think it was quite like an Italian-esque game from England, so it's almost like they've got to like out Italy on Sunday, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
there was a lot of nous about the performance, wasn't there, which I thought was different from England performances I've watched in the past, in that they always seem to have a thing in them that they'd shoot themselves in the foot, whereas you look at once they got the goal and once they got in front and it was in extra time. Obviously there's a lot of talk about Grealish being substituted, having been a substitute himself, which is normally a thing you wouldn't do because it obviously psychologically feels a bit of a blow for that player, but it made sense. Equally as well, England were just keeping the ball, weren't they? And I know Denmark ended up a player down because they didn't have another sub and all the rest of it. But nevertheless, just the nous to take the sting out the game, as you say, be a bit Italy. I think that's been lacking in the past. I think we all do that. Footy fans do that a lot, and maybe it's this country where we're incessant about being entertained, and yet it's quite entertaining to win.
Yeah, you could see it at the end. I think Denmark had just give up. You could see in the second legs, in the second half, the legs had just gone. And there was a few points where they could have gone on and made it 3-1. You could see Henderson just slowing it down. And I think it just goes to show that game management, you don't have to win 3-1. You could just go through now and actually get to a final. So yeah, I think they've learned from the World Cup as well. I think Gareth Southgate himself has learned. But I like the way he is ballsy, and I think to ever succeed as England manager, you've got to shut out the noise. You've got to not listen to the press. You've not listen to the whole stadium screaming for Jack Grealish every 5 minutes, and then not shit yourself realising that if it's taken back off, everyone's going to flip. So I do like him. I think he's quite likeable. I like how he's not this, Jack the lad, Look at Allardyce. Imagine if Allardyce was taking England to this final. Wow. It'd just be obnoxious, wouldn't it? But it's quite hard not to like Southgate, and I think I like how he makes the big decisions.
Yeah, I think you're right what you said before as well in terms of the group of the lads, even Southgate himself, what they've done with the taking the knee and sticking to that, the way they've all handled themselves in interviews and media, they've been quite sort of humble, and there's no one sort of being a bit of a knob, basically. I think all of that is the likeable side of it, and is the bit where it leaves me feeling a little bit like the Scrooge at Christmas. But I've got to stick to my guns. I can't suddenly jump on the bandwagon, and especially when I see who is on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Boris Johnson tweeting pictures of him with a Boris shirt last night, nearly spewed up when I saw that one. You know, other significant ministers and politicians jumping on board as well. When you think, well, you got a lad there playing for England, Sterling, who was born in Jamaica. If it was up to some of them, he probably wouldn't be in the country. Yeah. So you know what I mean? I find some of that a bit unpalatable, and we've talked before about the fans. I know it's not all fans, same as the way I wouldn't want everyone to tar all Liverpool fans with any brush. I won't tar all England fans with the same brush, but there's some of them that get right up my nose. So I will watch the final on Sunday, no two ways about it. If they win, it's not going to really elicit a big response from me. Like I say, I'll be made up for Henderson, but beyond that, I'll just kind of be like, I mean, last night I did a tweet. And I was honest, in my head I was having a bit of a joke, do you know what I mean? I didn't say anything. I put a picture of the Seine up, kissing the Liverpool badge after his magnificent week of scoring against United and Madrid. Obviously he's Italian, and I just put the Italian flag, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it's caused me, and I've had all people like, how can you not support your country and all this? And it's like, I mean...
Even Neville said it though. I know Carragher did a column on it.
It's good that one, Carragher's piece.
Yeah, it was, but Neville was honest and said, he showed a clip back of one of the games, and he didn't sing the national anthem, and they were trying to make this a bbig thing, and he was like, I regret it, but he was like, I'll be completely honest, at the time, club was just bigger for me than country, and I don't think it has to be as binary as you're only one or the other. You can still like England, but I'm the same. I was loving the game last night. The atmosphere was amazing, but I was thinking, God, if this was Liverpool, it would just be the next level. And I'm not losing sleep over it. Or if it was Liverpool, I'd be on my phone till 2 a.m, just consuming all the content. But it was nice. You just can't force it, and I don't think it has to be a big, hateful argument. You can still appreciate it. You can still I'd be made up for the rest of the country. I know a lot of people have been through a tough 18 months. So great, I think the one thing that's happened is just these binary arguments the whole time that COVID's happened. So it's quite refreshing for everyone to be on the same page for once, from my perspective. Anyway.
No, absolutely. You think you're right. 16 months of shite. If people are enjoying themselves, fair play, go and fill your boots. And look on England as well. There have been little moments for me where I got into it. I always remember when Michael Owen scored the famous goal against Argentina. I was watching that in the living room of my then girlfriend's house, or rather her mum and dad's house, with her mum and dad and her. And obviously, it's not the done thing to swear in front of your mum and dad's, in front of your girlfriend's mum and dad. But when that went in, I just found myself, I'd risen from the couch and was in the middle of the room, go, fucking get in there! And I realised where I was and just had to slowly sink back into the couch and go, sorry about that. So, they're a little, the other night when Henderson scored, you could see how much it meant to him, and that was his first England goal. And that was boss. That was a lovely little moment, whether you're asked about England or not. I'm asked about him. I'm made up for him. And like I say, if come Sunday, he's lifting the trophy and he's got a medal round his neck, then sound. You
forget for the players, for us, there's nothing riding on it. We get a bit, you get the fandom around it, but for the players, it's a sign of excellence. That's your job. You want to be the best you can, and getting picked for England and winning stuff for England is, that's the peak of your career. So for them, and kind of watching them go through that journey, I think is what's quite nice to see. And then for me, watching it on Sunday, England win great, and then I've got Italy in my sweep, which I stand to lose a few hundred quid, win a few hundred quid for. So it's it's going to be a good day for me.
What do you reckon? How can you see the final going? Because obviously the other semi was a good one.
Yeah.
And that you can quite rightly argue that Spain were the better side, but ended up going out. But equally, that was interesting though, because Italy have been good. I've enjoyed watching Italy through this tournament, and then. Before the game against Spain kicked off, I thought, well, Italy will dominate this game and probably win. And then it didn't go that way, but that was interesting then, do you know what I mean? And all the little things that went on in the shootout, you saw loads of nous from Italy there, didn't you, even on the toss and all that.
That was hilarious. Can you imagine him doing that to Harry Kane? He'd be like, oh.
Yeah, what? Heads go. That was tremendous. And so you said before about, you know, what we know Italy for, and you can call it different things, can't you? Like, I'm seeing it called different things today. You know, I was reading some of the reports before, and it, you know, Sterling's penalty is dodgy. There's no two ways about it. There might be a bit of sort of thigh on thigh, knee on knee contact, but I'm not sure he has to go sprawling on the deck. But that, I see that getting called now when it's being called cheating when it was Mo Salah, but that's another show.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? The Italians, there's the famous one in this tournament, isn't it? Oh, hello, fire alarm. Let's just see if we're going to burn or it's just a test then. But you know, is it a Mobile? I think it was, wasn't it? Where he goes down and jumps back up again.
Yeah. But that's fuzzy, isn't it? I quite like all of that. I think it's
part of the game, isn't it? Whether you like it or not now. So, what do you reckon? Who's going to out-shithouse the other on Sunday?
I think England have got it in them. I think the one thing that I thought from the...
Harmless, isn't it?
I thought from the Spain game. Let me know if you want me to carry on.
Maybe it's a real one. The inquest heard that Roberts died while live on YouTube.
The riot crew are coming for you, the England crew, starting fires outside.
Keith Lard will come in now. There we go. It's all done.
The one thing I thought about the other semi is that Italy were kind of holding out. They seemed like they had the experience ahead, but I thought the energy of Spain in the second half and then through to extra time, it did feel like they had the extra legs. And if you're looking at the two centre backs for Italy, they're not young, and we have got a young squad. So I think we might have more legs than them if we just hold out. But I mean, we've finally conceded a goal now, so have Italy. So I guess that's kind of broke that back. But yeah, I do think defensively we'll hold out. It'll be an interesting game actually. I think, you know, again, you can't really predict who the starting 11 is going to be exactly with what Southgate's going to go with. But I can see it going to extra time. I think that the players are starting to look a bit leggy now across the board. You know, it's been a long season for everyone, and then the tournament's been pretty back to back, hasn't it? So yeah, it'll be a hard one to call. I'm hoping it's not like a 0-0 stalemate. But yeah, I think if we go to penalties, where can we swear on this one? Yeah. I think England are fucked.
That's right.
If you ever had a body language expert to explain how a game has ever been won, it was that Italy captain before it, just picking him up and punching him in the face and stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna lose.
His head was gone after that, wasn't it? So yeah.
One other little thing I wanted to ask you about was Sterling, in that, you know, his relationship with Liverpool fans is obviously, there's history in that, you know, he went and did a fucking media interview while he was still contracted to Liverpool and just basically said, right, I'm getting off, which wasn't really the done thing, and obviously ended up everyone calling him a greedy bastard and all the rest of it. Goes to Man City, done really well there. What I'm saying is that for me, my opinion on him, it has changed. Like, I went through all the greedy bastard thing. I didn't like him. I didn't like his agent. I wondered why he chose that agent and stuck with that agent. But now, you know, after all the shit he's had off the tabloids, I think he speaks well, he's good in interviews, and I thought he was probably England's best player there last night. He was unreal. And I think as a person, you kind of, what you see in the media isn't that, is it? And I think that a lot of the work he does behind the scenes, we don't really see. But I remember reading a story about him, and he says like his daughter still supports Liverpool, like she's singing Liverpool chants all the time. And I think, you know, the rivalry gets a bit much on social media, but I mean, I'm sure Liverpool holds a place in his heart. I'm sure, I don't know if he'll say it, but you know, it was part of his development. And I think, you know, he's moved on. At the time it was quite raw, but you know, can you blame him to an extent? At the time when he did move, you know, he did move somewhere and won trophies. So yeah, I think that's gone now. We've got Jurgen Klopp. Look at the squad we've got. I think you'd be a bit more bitter, wouldn't you, if we weren't where we are today. Well, we've done a show actually, which will be out soon, where we are re-watching being Liverpool. So it's the panel of Fandom and Football Fix, if you've caught any of them from us through the pandemic period, which the idea with that started that idea when there was no football at all, when football stopped. So we went and watched, like, you know, loads of old documentaries and things like that, talked about them. But we thought we'd do this over the summer. So yeah, re-watching being Liverpool. So we watched the first 3 the other day. We've recorded that, and that'll be out soon. But it's mad, you know, going back. Like, you know, Sterling's obviously there. There's a clash with Rodgers. I think probably those two from that point didn't really get on, and I think the seeds were sown then for him to leave the club. But what you just said there as well about it's just a different world what Liverpool are about. Like, you're looking at the players who are kicking around, you're looking at Ian Ayre knocking around, you're looking at an old main stand, a different training ground, everything about it, you know, including Rodgers' awful sound bites, and you're just like, wow, we've come places, you know what I mean? I'm going to do some of the comments because we've got loads here, and you know, it's one of the good things about doing them live is the comments. So let's see. I've got to sort of read them and fill as I'm reading them because I haven't got anyone picking them out for me. Rob La has said English cakes or Danish pastries. It's continuing, but I should mention, by the way, people are getting really excited by all the B&M stuff that we've been doing, which was wild, but we started talking about B&M and home and bargains and all this on one show the other day, and people have seemingly loved it and are commenting all the time. I had a DM from someone who's involved or was involved at B&M, and he said, lads, I saw all that, I'm going to tell the head office, we'll see if we can get you some freebies. So I don't know what that'll be, maybe it's a load of Domestos or something, but go ahead, whatever. But yeah, Danish pastries, no, English cakes or Danish pastries?
Danish pastries all day. Actually, what's an English cake?
I don't know, like Eccles cake or something.
Oh no, Danish pastry all day.
Is right. People are asking about the away kit. Feels like we'll probably be doing that elsewhere, but quickly, have you seen it?
I like it, yeah.
It's all right, isn't it? Also, again, this is probably something we're doing elsewhere. Have you seen the Canate video?
Oh, with his pyros for his number reveal. Boss, love him already. Get him a song already.
It's like, has he just decided to do that himself, do you reckon? Like, do you know what I mean? Because I saw it on Liverpool's feed today, you know, like breaking news or whatever, like he's number 5, and I was thinking, well, we know because he took the shirt out of his bag yesterday and he had all his mates there with pyro.
It's like a gender reveal, but for your number.
Yeah. But it feels like he's just gone and done that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a bit of a loon and he's just gone, I'm going to have a little party with my bag. Lads, bring some pyro, I'll show you what number I am. And it's like, yeah, I love him. Like he hasn't even kicked a ball for the Reds and he seems absolutely sound already. I mentioned that Sterling comment before, didn't I? Scott McCauley, are you happy England have made the final, Robbo?
Made up.
Just not that ass, like. I mean, it's one of them, innit? Someone says, don't like the England football team and haven't since the 90s. Someone else says, I imagine Robbo and Sunday like that inglorious bastard scene where they pretend to be Italian. I mean, I might get a cornetto, lad, and see where we go from there. A few people saying about Hendo, you know, you could see him firing up the lads, you could see, you know, like he made an impact there. You know, he's not being involved as much as he would have wanted to be, has he? But you can tell that, something we talk about the Reds all the time, he's sort of like one of the cultural leaders in this England team, isn't he?
Yeah, I think was it Keane that said the comment, you know, because everyone always says, you know, if someone's not playing, it's good to have them around the camp, and Keane was like, well, what's he there to do, play cards for them or something? But you can see he literally got on the pitch and was just screaming at everyone from the get-go, and he calmed the game down. I think he managed the game really well, and you could tell he's just really passionate about playing for England. So yeah, I think he makes a difference, and it goes to show, you know, there's a lot of talent on that bench, and he's coming off the bench every game to help them get it over the line. So yeah, I think he's played the part, and he's not sulked, he's not, you know, made the fuss, he's just chipped in when he needs to. Yeah,
it's just busting off the fact here that, like, you mentioned being Liverpool and immediately people say Ian here on the motorbike, like,
on Harley Davidson, was it?
We rewatched it, like I say, I'm fucking hell, like that does not that has not aged any, you know, it doesn't make it any better that it was years ago when you see that bit, Jesus Christ. Andrew P says B&M in Walton is a war zone on Saturdays. Can well imagine that. Neil Dunn says, be arsed with England, but can't help feel happy for my mates who are arsed. It will be a where were you moment on Sunday. Yeah, someone sent me a thing about that. Said, like, you know, you're so desperate to say you're not asked about England, blah, 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 blah. Well, I was out in Liverpool and there were Blues and Reds and they were enjoying it and blah, blah, blah. Sound. Honestly, sounds like if people want to go and do that, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that, you know, I can't be some false prick who's been saying for years I'm not arsed, and then now they're in the final, turn up with fucking me face painted and the full kit on, going way up the Reds, fucking, you know, Harry Kane, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm not going to do it. But if you just want to go to town and watch it and fill your boots and have an ale and have a great time, don't blame me. Go ahead. And I believe it was all right in Liverpool. I imagine it was. There's lots of people who aren't from Liverpool and Liverpool as well. So if we're doing some kind of like experiment about Scousers in England, well, you'll have to offer me more evidence than that, to be honest. Pickford trying to impress Rafa, scenes when Rafa bins him. There's a great little meme, have you seen that one going round of Rafa with Pickford with stretchy arms and he's trying to make his arms longer.
Like Stretchy Armstrong.
He wasn't great, was he?
No, his distribution was just mad at some points. It's like his head completely went with the moment. And that free kick, I honestly think that he should have saved that. I think his positioning was all wrong. I don't know why he was so far on the right of the goal when, the obvious bend would have been to the left. And I think the most painstaking thing was just like his fingertips just got to it. And it was like, if he genuinely had longer arms, he would have got to it. So, yeah, I don't think he covered himself in glory in that game.
There's some Trabs questions. You want to do Trabs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Robbie Richmond says, you bought any new Trabs, Robbo? I'm fucking skint, mate, lad. I've been looking for new Trabs, but they need to be about a tenner. And there's no Trabs that I want to wear that are a tenner. So I'm kind of fucked. I'm just wearing a pair of Hamburg that are cracking on a bit, sorry. But he says, what's Sian's Trabs game like?
Your Trabs game?
Yeah, what's your Trabs game?
Is that trainees?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Trabs, I'd just say trainees. My trainee just got some classics on today. Adidas today, yeah. I don't know if you can see them. I'll show me foot there if you can. Yeah, I like quite a classic trainee really, or something with like a...
Because there's a big Nike scene now, isn't there? Which is like, I sometimes feel an arm bastard for still wearing an Adidas, so I'm glad you're wearing an Adidas now, because it feels like it's a bit cooler now. But like, you feel everyone's got Nike. But did you see Carragher the other day?
No.
So Carragher did the thing with Jamie Webster, and they were talking about, one of the questions about, I think it was for Boss Mag. One of the questions was like, what's one of the worst things about being a Scouser or something? Yeah. And Cara said 110s.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
Jamie
he's gone against the grain. I know, yeah.
Didn't he?
Because that is the uniform for a lot of people in Liverpool these days, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
Would you wear them?
I've never wore them now. I don't know if I'm like, I'll pull them off.
I can't rock them. No way.
Yeah,
you can't wear 110s when you're 45. It's just not the thing. Someone says, are you watching the Conor McGregor fight? No, because I still haven't got the fucking internet, you know what I mean? I've been waiting since May the 28th. BT, what are you doing? I reckon this could be like points of view, this show. Like, starts off as the Euros, and we end up getting into consumer issues. What do we reckon? Okay, someone else says, Sian, are you auditioning for Love Island with your water bottle?
With my water bottle? Yeah, God, no, I need like a branded Anfield Wrap one, don't I?
People saying they want Italy to do it for us. He's called Rangers Easy OK there. Someone says we should try for Declan Rice. There's been a link. It was on, Rob mentioned it on the gutter. Would you want Declan Rice for Liverpool?
I would. It got me thinking last night with the team and just looking, with them all not being predominantly playing for the top four. I was thinking, what's next for a lot of these players? And I think the one thing that not being gutted about, but I felt like when, United and Chelsea were in the prime, they could just pick who they wanted from the rest of the league. And, if we had a good player coming through, especially a good English one, you did fear that they'd leave. And I feel like Liverpool have never, probably because the premium that you now play on English players, but it's a bit annoying that we've never been able to just go to these other teams and just handpick all of our rivals' players from the rest of the country. So I'd love them, but I think the price you're playing for an English player now and after a tournament and just Liverpool's transfer policy in general, I couldn't see it, but yeah, I like him. I think he'd be good.
I think that's where we got the other day, and not like we were like, yeah, he's decent and he's a good age, but I think West Ham are already quoting mad prices. So United are interested as well, so you kind of feel like it could end up being a bit of an auction. And Liverpool don't tend to get involved in that type of thing. Someone says there, I don't know in reference to what we're talking about. Oh, we are to Declan Rice. Someone says they'd rather have pilau rice, and someone else says they'd rather have Annika rice, which is one for the kids there. Treasure hunt. There's a few Italian flags popping up in the comments as well. And someone says, no internet, 10 quid Trabs, it's like a bloody Bernardo's advert. I'm on my arse, mate, honestly. If you know any other ways for me to earn dough that don't involve, moody shit, give us a shout. Might do, maybe a B&M, YouTube channel or something like that. Gareth at theanfieldwrap.com.
We need to start a fundraiser like that. And you need to go to the England final, get caught crying on camera, and then you'll get
I was going to say, some of the
14K.
stuff fundraisers get started for these days, you know what I mean? It feels like, should we start one for me to get a new pair of stamps? Right, well, should we leave it there? How long have we done, Sam? Half an hour? Fucking hell, time flies when you're having fun. That's been Talking Reds about the Euros, but not really.